Hi, my name is Stephanie Godwin, and I'm honored to be part of the Hope Rising devotions, and I'm going to talk to you today about loneliness. Have you ever had a Bible verse jump out at you as if it was written in the Bible just for you? The ropes of death entangled me. Floods of destruction swept over me. The grave wrapped its ropes around me. Death laid a trap in my path. How difficult to imagine, yet Psalm 18, 4 through 5 is exactly how I felt and what I experienced when I look back at my years of dealing with suicidal depression. I'm so lonely. I'm so stressed out. I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I just want all this to end. Life just isn't worth living. These were my thoughts going through my mind as a 17-year-old and again in my 20s. I was so lonely as a stranger in a new town, and then a young teacher so badly needing an encouraging mentor. Looking back, I'd say to my younger self, well, call out to Jesus. He will uphold you with his mighty right hand, as it says in Isaiah 41:10. But back then, you see, though I thought there was a God, I didn't have a clue who he was. I didn't grow up in a Christian family, and God wasn't talked about as I grew up. Amazing grace, mercy, compassion, what's that? Who did I turn to? Who did I put my hope in? No one. It was just me, alone. I had friends and family to turn to, but when I did, I was told not to talk about that. And I think I subconsciously remembered that when suicidal thoughts returned in my 20s, I remembered that. So I dealt with it alone, or so I thought. Driving to and from school, I'd see a telephone pole, and I'd imagine myself running into it to end all of the misery that I'd been dealing with. But I'd hear a voice, and I thought I was just talking to myself. And it would say, go to school, you promised those kids that you would be there, and at the end of the year, then you can do something else. This is exactly what Isaiah 30:21 tells us. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. I came so close one day to just driving as fast as I could so I could run into one of those telephone poles, but I got stopped right in my tracks. The world just stopped. The skies were blue, there were no cars around, my world just completely stopped. And I heard, what about David? Suddenly, as I said, the world had just completely stopped. I contemplated about that. It was a thought that never crossed my mind. And I know that sounds selfish, but hear me out. All I could see were the problems right in front of me, and death was the only way to make this problem go away. All of my sense of logical reasoning was gone. The next day, I opened up to a friend and started counseling the next week. But that is not what saved my life. God saved my life. He's the one who stopped me in my tracks. And looking back now, I am so overwhelmed and in awe that I mattered to the King of all kings. He cared enough for me who didn't even know of his very existence. He stayed by my side when I didn't call on him. And I know 20 years later now that it was him talking to me. As it says in 2 Timothy 1:9, he has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of anything we have done, but because of his own purpose and grace. He encouraged me and led me to live so I could not be a teacher as I had dreamed, but to do what he wanted me to do. All of these glorious plans that he had and has for me. And so far, it's been a glorious unfolding, and I can't wait to see what else is yet to come. So when you feel loneliness set into your soul, call out to our Prince of Peace, and let him guide you out of your pit of loneliness.